Hello, welcome back to Water. My name is Beast, and today we're back with Modded Wings Flight Theory. Suppose I could have just started in here. Instead of giving you another heart attack that another fucking video was lost to the eons of OBS. So if the same shit doesn't happen again. Either way, I already know what we're gonna do today. Kanako. We're gonna do her. Not in that sense. It's most likely gonna wake into tomorrow. Even then, this doesn't have the sex scenes, so not really. Can a girl get a little rest? Alright, I'm up. Roused by the loud cries of the cicadas, I hold myself up. The blazing morning sun dazzled my eyes. Stretched out, feeling my stiff body come back to life, and turned my head from side to side. How was I? What? I could feel a cool breeze creeping in through the window. It'd probably be cold in my usual pajamas. Even in summer, I can get chilly in just one layer. Maybe I need to put on something else. Before getting up, I moved to tuck my hands under my armpits. Squish. My hands came in contact with something. Like my normal bed, this was something firm and sturdy. It was also pleasantly warm, almost like it was alive. Squish, squish. I looked down at the source of the mystery sensation and saw Aoi. He looked so adorable, sleeping peacefully. That weird feeling hadn't been the bed after all, but Aoi's well-toned chest muscles. What a way to start! What the fuck? Squish. This is clearly a cropped CG. Or not. Surprise. Ah yes, that is the face of somebody who has no idea what they did, but they feel like they fucked up somehow. I gently withdrew my hand. My own heart was hammering wildly, even if it was by accident. I'd just been caressing a boy's chest. Wait, this was no time to think about that! I found it hard to calm down. I started looking around the room. Over in one area, a road bike and the spare tires. On the table, a cycling magazine and toolbox. It was so different from my own room in almost every way. In other words, this was... Not only that, but Aoi was still here, sleeping right next to me. If I woke up here, that must mean he and I had slept in the same bed last night. I fought my way through the shock and the morning haze, desperately trying to remember what happened last night. No, we don't discover a whole new world. Movie 2? What the fuck? We already saw that movie in Akari's. So yeah, that basically Akari's route doesn't fucking matter towards the achievements. We clinked our glasses together and the dining hall was instantly full of good cheer. We finally got permission from the Soaring Club to resume its activities and we're holding a little party to mark the occasion. probably going to turn into a later night than usual. But we didn't have school the next day, so it wouldn't be a problem. Pulled out all the stops for dinner. Feel free to eat your fill.
Hi!
I may have even gotten carried away and made a little too much, but it was all for a good cause.
本当に私たちも一緒していいの？
私たち別に部員でもないのに。
It's fine. We're gonna need all the help we can get to finish all this. Besides, it's more fun if we all celebrate together, right?
それじゃあお言葉に甘えて。
The other dorm residents joined us at the
でも
table.
これからが本番なんだから今まで以上に頑張っていくわよ。はい、よろしくお願いします、部長。部長。
That was odd. Like, drop the Miss Habane part? Yes, I agree. Drop that. Drop the Miss Habane part. That wasn't necessary here, and that wasn't necessary here. The fuck?
ねえねえ、もう一回部長って呼んでくれない？部長？部長。会長も良かったけど、こっちもなかなか。朝、わさげ。はいはい、いい加減にしなさいって。
You don't have to do everything she says, Elsa.
すごい浮かれよう。ほんと子供みたいですね、先輩。
Yodo heaved a dramatic sigh as if to show just how above all this she was.
姉と違って可愛くないわね、傘と妹。別に鳥先輩に可愛がってもらおうなんて思ってませんから。鳥先輩、ちょっと鳥ってどういうことよ。私なりに親しみを込めたつもりですけど。1ミリたりともこもってないわよ。私のことは部長って呼びなさい。鳥先輩がきちんと名前を呼んでくれれば考えます。ぐねねね。ああ、わかったわよ。何ですか、鳥先輩。
Whoops.
ぐねねね。
Finish, please.
わかったわよ。夜。はい。だから部長って呼びなさいよ。私は考えると言ったんです。で、考えた結果、呼ぶ必要はないかなと。今、即答だったでしょうが。そもそも呼ばなきゃいけない理由がありません。私は部員じゃありませんし。はいはい、どうぞ。
Yoda knew exactly how to push Koteri's buttons.
もうダメだよ、夜ちゃん。これからお世話になるんだから。先に仕掛けてきたのは向こうよ。でも夜ちゃんの方が大人なんだからね。
She isn't though. Well, Sarasa, even if they were polar opposites, you could tell these two were family.
みんな盛り上がってるね。グラス
Kanako.
が空になってるわよ。今日はじゃんじゃん食べて飲まないと。
Thanks. Kanako poured some more juice into my glass. The chaos around us continued. Hagia tried to hold Koteri back while Asa calmly rebuked her sister. Kanako just watched from the sidelines, smiling contentedly.
ほんとお疲れ様。寮母もやりながらだと大変だったでしょ。
I'm used to it, but nah, and Koteri and the others help
そ
out.
っか。いつもありがとね。こんな美味しい料理作ってくれて。
Kanako's smile broadened as she looked at the food spread across the table. She latched onto my arm, and I felt the softness of her chest rub against me. My heart gave a sudden flutter, and I took half a step away from her. Hey, Kanako. Aren't you being a little too touchy-feely?
ごめんごめん。
She casually adjusted her collar and poured me another
ソア
drink.
リング部復活おめでとう。ようやくこの日がやってきたって感じでしょ。
Thanks, but there's still a whole ton of stuff we still need to get done.
でもすごく嬉しそうだよ。
Of course I am. I'm thrilled to get another chance to take on the challenge of the sky. Be able to stand on the starting line again. The thought of it made my heart beat a little faster. Realized I was clenching my fists in anticipation too. Kanako was smiling at me. What?
ちょっとかっこいいなって思ってただけ。
Hey, where's all this coming from? Are you planning something?
でも本当にすごいって思ってるんだよ。物質もグライダーもなくなったのに、それでも弱音も吐かずにずーっと頑張ってさ。
Make it sound more impressive than it really is. We're nothing special, just a group of kids who all love the sky. Never thought of myself as anything special, and how to deal with that kind of praise.
ここからが大変だろうけど、お姉さんが草場の陰から見守っててあげるから。
Just watching, huh? You know you don't have to stick to the shadows,
葵
right?
くんたちなら大丈夫大丈夫。私が太鼓判をしてあげるわ。
Thanks, that means a lot.
ちょっと葵くん、この小生意気な妹に何とか言ってやってよ。葵先輩、鳥先輩を何とかしてください。さっきからキーキー泣いてうるさいんですけど。
Wow, you two really are such great friends. Stepped in between them, couldn't allow things to escalate any further. To be honest, I was surprised Kanako was that happy. Seemed like she was expecting something from me too. Part of me wanted to show off just a little. Okay, got me go 3 down. I tried to get the party back on track.
さあ、今日は記念すべき復帰1日目。気合い入れていくわよ。
I know, right? That's right.
どうしたのよ朝。ものすごいフラフラしてるんだけど。
Apparently was so excited she didn't get any sleep last
子供
night.
か。小鳥ちゃんだってさっきまで似たようなもんだったくせに。
Aga was right. Kotri had been yawning all throughout breakfast. I had to carry her to the bathroom so she could splash some water on her face and shake off her fatigue.
そういえば風と妹はどこ行ったのよ。夜ちゃんなら
Ah, the flight lessons.
があったみたいで。なんですって。さては私のしごきを恐れて逃げ出したのね。
I don't think that's it. Yoda wasn't even a club member. It's totally natural that we wouldn't see her all the time. Plus, I had a feeling the soaring club hadn't made that great of an impression
おは
on
よ
her.
う。おはようございますかなこさん。そして相変わらず下着なんですね。だって楽でいいんだもん。これ。それよりお腹すいた。朝ごはんある？
I put yours aside in the refrigerator. Before that, though.
朝ごはんよりも先に服を着てきなさいよ。
As Kanako flailed around, I couldn't help but smile. I was so used to her morning habits now, I didn't try to avoid looking anymore. This was a complicated feeling, but not a bad one.
そういえば今日からだっけ？部活。そうよ。何事も最初が肝心だからね。元気いっぱいね。ま、頑張ってきて。
Like, Kanako sure is remembering a lot right now. Like, she just needs to remember what happened, like, last night to see why she ended up in his fucking bed. Why is she suddenly remembering all the way back here?
待ってかな。よかったらカナも一緒に来ない？私も？今日は暇してるって言ったでしょ。カナにはいつもお世話になってるのに一度も来てもらったことないし。それはまあ私たちの新しい拠点に案内するわよ。秘密基地みたいでほんとすごいんだから。
Kanako thought about it, tapping her cheek slightly. her cheek lightly.
遠慮しておく。今日は一日ぐうたらしないといけないし。ぐうたらですか。何よそれは。まあ確かにカナはそういうキャラよね。ごめんね。
Huh? Wasn't really anything to apologize for. Feel guilty about something.
わかった。それじゃあ行ってくるわね。はいはーい。しっかり青春してこーい。
Kanako half-heartedly waved us away and slinked off to the dining hall.
何ぼーっとしてるの、葵。置いてっちゃうわよ。
Alright, coming! Alright, salad's ready. Piled up thinly sliced veggies in their bowl and placed it on the center of the table. Now I just had to get everyone's toast, scrambled eggs, omelets. Where to do it? The portions looked a little small to me, but I probably ate more than the girls anyway. I hoped it wouldn't be a problem. Could always whip up some more in a pinch if it was.
おはよ
Morning, you're up early
う。
today.
残されちゃったのよ。外がすっごいうるさいんだもん。
I guess you're right. Kotori and I both looked out the window. The weather had been so warm and dry lately, but this morning it looked like it might rain. And hard. Dark clouds were ready to break at any moment, and strong winds were rattling the
お
windows.
はよう。朝から二人して何してるの？おはようかな。今日はやけに天気が悪いなって。おー、雲の流れがすごいわね。
Winds, clouds, rain, it's pretty bad all
も
around.
しかしてまた台風とか？まさか。つい最近来たばっかりじゃない。さすがにそんな。
Let's take a look at the forecast. I switched on to TV. Luck was on my side. The weather segment had just started. The map showed a swirling vortex
急
of
速に
clouds.
発達した低気圧の影響で本日はほぼ全国的に風が強まる見込みです。夜にかけて強い雨と風が吹く恐れがありますので付近の住民は十分に警戒してください。
嘘。
No way. Yeah, it's a little flooded, but our drainage system's pretty good, so it shouldn't be an issue. I'll fix it later. For now, just use a bucket or something to catch the rain. Everything was playing out just like the forecast had predicted. Our dorm was weathering its fourth typhoon. The house was in chaos as we struggled to cope. We only just recovered from the last one. Hadn't finished all the repairs yet. Even the slightest creaking sound sent me running all over the house to check on things. Complaining won't make it stop. Besides, you said the same thing last time. Storms hadn't dampened Kotori's ability to shift the blame. Kanako, what? You're soaking wet! What happened to you? Kanako came dashing down the stairs looking like somebody had just emptied a bucket of water over her. The whole thing?
今、二人に押さえてもらってるんだけど、さすがにまずいかな。ちょっと葵先輩、もたもたしてないで早く来てください。
I'll be right there! Just hold out a little longer! I'll go fix it from the outside. Kanako, you take this and go help the others. I pushed some plastic sheets at Kanako's arms and ran for the
あ
door.
れよ任された。気をつけてね葵くん。
Right! I was the man of this household. Now more than ever, I had to step up and deal with the tougher manual labor. The next day.
8度7分。完璧に風ねこりゃ。
Oh, I was afraid of that.
葵くん大丈
I'm fine, it's no big deal. I probably just need a good night's sleep.
夫？とてもそうには見えないんですけど。
I made it through the typhoon, but I'd come down with a cold from rushing around in the rain so much. Between the fever and the headaches, I couldn't even get out of bed. Kanako the others had come to check up on me. Don't worry about me, just go do your own thing.
で
My cold's not going to go away any faster just by having you here.
もそうそう葵くんのことなら私が見ててあげるから。かなこさんが？うんちょうど暇してたとこだし。じゃあお願いしていいかな。任せときなさいコトリン。みんなも心配しなくていいからね。かな。それにさっき面白そうな漫画見つけちゃったし、ここでまとめて読破しちゃおうかなと。私の感動を返して。やっぱり私も。大丈夫大丈夫。朝ちゃんは葵くんの分まで青春してこい。
I nodded in agreement. I could see the resolution settle on Elsa's face. An intense fire was burning in her eyes.
わかりました。私、葵先輩の分まで頑張ってきますから。
I actually need to fucking... You've been going shopping without telling me first as of late. So now, like, the bag that I put all my empty bottles in is basically about to fucking spill over.
姉さん力入れすぎ。今回は私も手を貸すわ。ありがとうヨルちゃん。じゃあカナ、葵くんのこと頼んだわよ。はいはい。いってらー。
Sorry, Kanako, you probably have better things to do.
いいっていいって。窓を直してくれたお礼ってことで、今日はお姉さんがたっぷり看病してあげる。添い寝から下の世話まできちんと見るから頼りにしてくれていいわよ。
Good, thanks.
遠慮しなくてもいいのに。
A little joke out of the way, Kanako treated me to a genuine
食
smile.
欲はある？あるなら何か食べよっか。
Sure.
私もお腹空いてたの忘れてた。
Giggling as if she'd only just remembered her hunger, Kanako left the room. I watched her go and let sleep gradually wash over me.
とは言ったものの。
I'd walked into the dining hall full of determination, but I wasn't sure what to do from here. Cooking wasn't exactly my strong suit. I could make some stuff, sure, but it was the kind of thing no one else would compliment, even if it would be nice.
病人の食事と言ったらおかゆよね。
How's that stuff made anyway? Maybe I just needed to boil up some rice and go from there. It sounded easy enough. Even I could handle that.
なんとかなるでしょう。
You probably have the internet. Look up.
できた。
I looked down at the freshly cooked porridge. I started to have doubts. Did I use too much heat? Still bubbling like crazy. Some parts looked a little scorched, even red for some reason, but it was still edible, right? My conscience wouldn't allow me to feed this to unless I knew how it tasted myself. Just one mouthful should do the trick. I covered my mouth. For a moment I felt like I was going to throw up. I wasn't sure whether to call it sweet, salty, or sour. It was like a mixture of all the worst parts of all the basic tastes.
あの調味料がまずかったかな。
I figured something spicy would help warm Aoi up and make him feel
ハ
better.
バネロは使うべきじゃなかったわね。
If I forced this stuff on Aoi, it would only make him
イン
worse.
スタントで我慢してもらおう。
That must be the peppers. Why did I think that was a good idea? I warmed up a towel and wiped the sweat from Aoi's hands and forehead. He's still a little feverish. Compared to this morning, his temperature had gone down a
もう
lot.
大丈夫かな。
He wasn't looking as pale as before either.
まったく幸せそうにグーグー寝ちゃって。葵くんは罪作りな男の子よね。
Colton and the others had been taking turns to call and check up on him all throughout the day. When I told them he was doing okay, they all reacted the same way. It was pretty touching. Though in Yoda's case, she sounded more relieved than
さ
anything.
てと漫画。
Picked up one of the books and settled down against the bed to read. The only sound in the room were of Aoi's gentle breathing and me turning the pages. No distractions. I made good progress through the series. I only had a lot of manga in his room, so I was confident I wouldn't get bored anytime soon. No. Huh? No, you've got the wrong idea. Was he awake? Put down the book and snuck a peek at Aoi's face. There was no change. She still looked just as peaceful as before. Kanako, please put some clothes on. I was just talking to sleep. I couldn't help but chuckle.
大丈夫よ。お姉さんはここにいますよ。
Prepared another towel to wipe him down. When it was done, I rested a warm towel on his forehead. It must have made him more comfortable. He smiled in his sleep, his breathing becoming more even. Aww, he was so cute! He looked so innocent and peaceful, like a little kid. Wiped my nose and went back to my reading. She's also getting sick. Oh no. The series was longer than I thought. Closed volume 15, having finally reached the end of the first major arc. I got up to search the bookcase for the next volume, but when I did... Huh?
あれこれは風もらっちゃったかな。
I felt an unpleasant shiver crawl across my skin all over my body. As soon as I noticed this chill, I started to feel tired, as if my body was telling me to get some rest.
ああ、本当にまずいかも。
That makes sense why it started like 2 days ago. They need to explain the whole sickness thing. I was starting to feel lightheaded. Maybe I should just rest my eyes for a few minutes. I'd still hear Aoi if he woke up and needed me. Just a few minutes.
ああ、そっか。ちょっとだけと思って寝ちゃったのね。それにしても。
How exactly did I get like this? Last thing I couldn't remember was me sitting on the floor, leaning against the bed. So how did I end up sleeping next to Aoi?
思い出せない。
No matter how I racked my brains, whatever happened in between then and now remained a complete blank. Still felt a little groggy and my head was kinda heavy. Found it hard to believe Aoi would have dragged me into bed with him. Had I been so sleepy I climbed in next to him without realizing what I was doing?
まさか。
While I turned possible explanations over in my head, I felt something cool run down my back. Twisted left and right, checking if my clothes were all in order. There were a few wrinkles here and there, but apart from that, everything looked fine.
そうよね。そんなことあるわけ。
Always brow furrowed as he turned over in his sleep. Instinctively jerked back to put some distance between us.
いやいや、そんな。
My clothes hadn't been disturbed. Obviously, nothing untoward had happened. That's what I tried to tell myself anyway. That was nothing to say that anything weird had happened, but I just couldn't help but worry about it. I'd heard of people laughing when they were up against the wall, but I never thought of experiencing it myself. This really wasn't the time to be laughing. I knew what I had to do. That had to be my top priority. If anyone walked in right now, they could get all kinds of wrong ideas. Who would even ever believe we'd spent the night together without letting anything happen? Even I didn't fully believe that.
考えたくないんだけど、もしかして間違い起きちゃった？
Kanako's just sitting there like, oh no. I missed. Oh well. Would have missed even if I hit. Once I bring those away, I'll just have to fill them up with the ones that didn't fit. Kanako had been acting weird all morning. She wasn't exactly avoiding me, but she seemed uncomfortable somehow. Even when she spoke to me, she wouldn't look me in the eye. She didn't say any more than was absolutely necessary and made herself scarce when she was done. Strange behavior for someone who usually pranced around the house in her underwear. I did have an idea of what might be bothering her, though. I wanted to talk to her and set her mind at ease, but she wouldn't even stick around long enough for me to let me thank her for taking care of me. How had things come to this? I've been stirred awake this morning by a strange noise. I opened my eyes just in time to see Kanako trying to creep out of my room. She'd been sneaking forward on all fours, her back arched like a cat. Called out to her before she could reach the door. Kanako?
起こしちゃったか。ごめんね。
Her eyes started every which way, avoiding meeting my gaze at all costs. She was smiling, but it looked stiff and forced, nothing like her usual expression. I couldn't shake feeling something wasn't right here. I wasn't Kanako even in my room in the first place. Oh, don't worry about it. Anyway, what are you doing here so early?
それより風邪はもう大丈夫？咳は？頭痛は？吐き気は収まった？
Yeah, I feel much better after a good night's sleep. I'm probably not completely back to normal yet, but I'll live.
そっか。顔色もすっかり良くなったわね。よかったよかった。
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So, what are you
で
doing?
も調子に乗ったらダメよ。まだまだ病み上がりなんだから。
Sure,
そ
but...
れじゃあ、私はこれで。じゃあね。
Hey, wait a minute! If I could say any more, Kanako was already dashing out of the door. What was that all about? Couldn't think of anything. I couldn't think of anything I could have done to upset her. Maybe it was because of the cold, but most of the previous day was a complete blur to me. Spent most of my time in bed anyway. Must have done something. What else? Why else would Kanako be so on edge? I wanted to thank her for taking care of me all day and clear up whatever this misunderstanding was about. If she'd stay still long enough for us to have a conversation, that is. I really do feel grateful to her. She'd given up her whole day to keep an eye on me, while I mostly just slept after all. Sure, she'd said she was free anyway, but it couldn't have been too much fun for her. She'd never complained once. I had to thank her. I didn't feel like fixing a window had entitled me to this treatment. I was pretty sure I wouldn't have recovered this quickly without her there by my side. Just have to pin her down. My chance came sooner than expected. On the way to the dining hall, I ran into Kanako coming out of the bathroom. Morning! It's not like you to be up and about this early.
本当はもっと寝たかったんだけどね。二度寝しようにも微妙な時間だったし。
She tried to turn her yawn into a laugh. It wasn't very convincing. A few wet strands of hair were clinging to Kanako's cheek. She must have been washing her face. I realized I was staring.
何？葵くん。そんなに見とれちゃって。
Oops, sorry. I had to get a hold of myself. Had I really just been standing there staring at her? Took a deep breath to bring myself back to my senses. I was just surprised. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you actually wearing clothes.
そうだっけ？可愛い後輩も増えたし、頼れるお姉さんだってアピールしよっかなーってね。
Kanako straightened up and rested a hand on her hip, smirking confidently. My attention was drawn towards her lightly swaying breasts, but I managed to control myself and keep my eyes on her face.
でもそんなにいつも薄着だったっけ？
Yeah, in summer anyway. Feeling a bit embarrassed over what I just said, my heart started to beat faster. I'd only been trying to make conversation, but I couldn't help feeling awkward. Heavy silence settled over the both of us. Kanako looked uncomfortable too, though she kept stealing glances at me now and then. Seeing her acting so bashful only made it worse for me.
体は大丈夫なのかしら？
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks to you, I'm gonna be just fine. Seriously, thank you for
そ
everything.
んな大げさすぎよ。特別なことしたわけじゃないし。
Huh?
もうそんなジロジロ見ないでって。
What's going on here? When did Kanako get so cute? But this wasn't the time for that. I had to find out what this morning was all about. So, Kanako, I've been meaning to ask you about this morning.
おはようございます。
Fuck!
おはようございます。
I looked up to see Asa and Yoda descending the stairs. Oh, morning you
随
two.
分とのんびりしてますけど、いいんですか？割とギリギリな時間ですよ。
I looked at my watch and realized I'd lost track of time. Oh, you're right. Sorry, I'll get right on it.
私もお手伝いします。私も手伝うわ。不吉祥な姉さんだけじゃ心配だし。夜ちゃんひどい。
Sorry, Kanako, I've got to go get stuff ready in the kitchen.
はいはい、頑張ってちょうだいな。
Looks like I missed my chance again. I have to be more focused next time.
なんかダメだ。
But I on my cheek. It felt warm despite the cold water I'd splashed on it a few minutes ago. It wasn't like me to be so
調子
timid.
狂うな。
It's all Aoi's
何も
fault.
なかったみたいに普段通りだし。
As it could all be all in my head. But what if something had happened? Aoi was just really nonchalant about
ど
it.
うなんだろう。なんとか真相を確かめないと。おはようかな。おはよう、カトリン。なんだか顔赤いわよ。ああ、暑いからじゃない？今日はちょっと蒸し暑い感じがするし。確かに今日は絶好のフライト日和よね。今日も部活？当然。じゃあ私もついていっていい？
Fuck, I still had this opened. I watched these earlier today. There we go. As soon as the bell rang, the classroom was filled with noise and activity.
さあ、今日も張り切っていくわよ。
Actually, did I start the upload? Fuck. Yeah. I did start the upload. It's a little over halfway done only. What the Why do these streams take so long to upload? Rattle 'em, boys!
小鳥は本当に疲れ知らずよね。
The class is over for the day. Met up with Kotori and the others. Us and Yoru had gone on ahead, apparently. We'd better not keep them
そ
waiting.
の前に今日は特別ゲストが来てるわよ。
I guessed.
やっは
You mean Kanako?
ーい。そうよ。私たちの新しい活動拠点を見たいんだって。やることもなくてさ。せっかくだし、いろいろ見せてもらおうかなと。
Knew you couldn't stay away forever. She'd shown some reserve when I invited her to join us before. I smiled awkwardly, her cheeks burning red.
それじゃ行くわよ。
I'm sorry about this, but I don't know why my left nostril's just hating me right now. Righto. Not the Kuzunoa type.
おー。
Get it? Because Raito kind of sounds like Raido. I'm a comedy genius. Do not question my rank.
すごいわね。
Oops. Kanako was clearly shocked that it says at a hangar. We call it our club room, but it was really a much bigger space.
ね、すごいでしょ。ここに来ると気合が入るのよね。やってやるわよって。バカ言ってないで、さっさと作業に入ってください。
Yoru had arrived already and was showing no patience for Kotori's enthusiasm. She shot a glance at Kanako.
また余計な人が増えた。そう邪険にしないでよ。抱きつこうとしないでください。あれ、朝ちゃんは？もう先に始めてます。
Sure enough, Asa was over near the glider. She hadn't even noticed the rest of us and was carefully inspecting the cockpit and the surrounding area.
よし、私たちもさっさと始めるわよ。了解。
What about Kanako?
じゃあ適当に見学させてもらおうかな。
Okay, cool. Feel free to ask if you have any
ほい
questions.
ほーい。
Kanako waved as we walked away, still keeping a watchful eye on us.
先輩、外見てもらっていいですか？
Sure.
葵先輩、これなんですけど。
Alright, I think. I wasn't sure why, but it felt like I was being watched. All the club members were gathered around the glider, though, apart from Yuru, who was immersed in a book on the stairs. Meanwhile, Kanako was standing next to Kotori and her attention focused on the machine. Could have sworn she'd been looking in my direction a second ago.
先輩、
Oh, sorry. I guess probably the best person to ask about this.
わかりました。おほー。
Ah! I jerked away in shock. I hadn't noticed Kanako sneaking up on me like a bobcat. Where'd you come from? Don't scare me like that! Jeez! She got so close without making any noise at
い
all.
やー、ちゃんと先輩してるね。感心しちゃうわ。
She nodded as if agreeing with her own statement. Her hair bounced with the movement, diffusing a sweet smell into the air. The difference in our height forced her to look up at me. That sight combined with the scent made my heart beat a little faster. I just delegated the task though. Did you need something? Kanako's only reply was a slightly strange smile. So what is it? She was looking awfully fidgety all of a sudden. Her lips tightened and her eyes started moving erratically. Kanako?
ごめんごめん。お邪魔しました。
No, hold on a second. Once again, she refused to let me speak and ran off back to Kotori. Had a deep sigh I'd been suppressing. I was so nervous it was hard to get my breathing under control. Gotta calm down. This might have been the first time Kanako had been close enough for me to be aware of her scent. I'd gotten kind of used to her walking around in her undies at home, but that sneak attack just now caught me completely off guard. Okay, back to work. Do my best to concentrate on what I was doing and drive any dirty thoughts out of my head. A few days later. After a quick breakfast, I started tidying up around the kitchen.
おはよ
Morning. Kanako came out drying her hair with a towel thrown over her shoulders. Now she really was sexy. Fresh from the shower, her skin was slightly flushed. The serene expression on her face made her look even more alluring. Come to think of it, she'd been wearing clothes around the house a lot more lately. Not long ago, she'd get out of the bath and only wearing underwear pretty much 100% of the time. Naturally, I was glad she'd started to act more together.
う。あのさ、葵くん。
Huh? Stopped what I was doing and turned to face Kanako. She seemed a little restless. I got the feeling she was watching me to see how I'd react. Started to feel my face going red too. No, you first.
あー、ごめん。やっぱりなんでもないわ。
Why not? If I could call her back, she'd already retreated back to her own room. It's got to be something, right? Wish I knew what she was thinking. I stepped out of my room, heading out to do some shopping. Kanako was lounging around in one of the chairs in the lobby. Her eyes met for one moment before darting away again. Just heading to the store. I shouldn't be gone
は
long.
いはーい。あー、今日はお肉が食べたいな。ハンバーグとか。
Okay, sure. The tastes were overly simple sometimes, maybe even childish. Is that what you were going to say earlier? Suggestions for tonight's menu?
意外と難しいわね。
That fateful day I spent with Aoi drifted back into my head. So much time had passed since then, but I still had no idea whether anything bad happened between us. I felt like there was a heavy pall of clouds around me that I couldn't get rid of. Aoi seemed just fine though, no different from normal. Maybe I really didn't have anything to worry about.
なんかめんどくさくなってきたわ。
I buried my face in my pillow. I was making zero progress this way.
ここは頼れる後輩の力を借りますか。
I reached out to my cell phone.
花子さんが相談事だなんて珍しいですね。
Of course she asks Yoda. She's the one that has it the most together and most likely won't murder Aoi for this. Because Kotari is not going to be any help at all. Same for Asa, and Aga will probably just murder Aoi, knowing her. But like, I legitimately have reached the point where, like, even without considering her route, Aga is a more attractive side character to me than main heroine. Kind of similar to how I view Miyako and Majikoi. If that makes sense.
あら、私だって年頃の女の子よ。悩みの一つや二つ持ってるに決まってるじゃない。すみません。とてもそんな風には見えませんでしたので。ひどい。はいはい。それでお話というのは？
I took a deep breath, had to calm down and get my thoughts in order. How was I even supposed to start? I didn't want to jump into details right away. Yoda would probably see right through me anyway, and I did have to consider Aoi's privacy too.
どうしたんですか、先輩。
Yoda called me back to reality. I couldn't hesitate forever. I had to say
と疑問
something.
に思ったんだけど。
So hypothetically is never a good way to start.
いやらしいこととかいかがわしいこととか経験すると、その人の雰囲気とか空気が変わるって言うでしょ。あれって本当に分かっちゃうものなの？は？
Yoda's eyes went wide with surprise. I'd never seen her like that before.
なんですか？そのいかがわしいこととかって。だから。
Fucking you squeak! This time her face went red all over.
ほら、よく言うじゃない。 男の子だと一皮むけて落ち着いたとか、たくましくなったとか、女の子にもそういう変化とかあるのかなーって思って。鏡とかでわかるものなの？ちょっと待ってください。唐突に何なんですか、その恥ずかしい話は。いやー年頃の女の子としてはやっぱりそういうこと気になっちゃうじゃない？私に同意を求められても困ります。ありゃ。それで何かあったんですよね。私にこんな話を切り出してきたわけですから。さあ、どうだろう。話の内容から考えるまでもありませんでしたね。葵先輩が絡んでいる。もうそんなことないわよ。
Oh, it has cracked the case! My reaction must have given away some. Yoda's eyes were shining with a dangerous light. I felt the shiver run down my spine.
やっぱり自分で調べてみるわ。こんな遅い時間に付き合わせてごめんね。いえいえ、気にしないでください。一後輩としてお役に立ちますよ。何せかなこさんには日頃からとってもお世話になってますから。いやありがとう。でも遠慮しないでください。というか遠慮なんてさせませんから。私も適切にアドバイスしたいので、洗いざらい白状をもとい話していただけますか？
I think I may have chosen the wrong person to confide in.
なるほど。状況はあらかた把握できました。ヨルちゃんがこんなド S だったなんて。私はただ必要なことを聞いただけです。何もかも白状させられたんだけど。あとド S なのは否定しないのね。あ、最後にもう一つだけ。何よ、まだ何かほじくり返したいの？はい。葵先輩の寝顔を間近で観察した感想は？
A question unlocked something I'd been holding back, and memories of that morning flooded back into my head. He looked so peaceful, like an innocent child. In contrast to that, his body was so big and sturdy and manly.
顔、また赤くなってますよ。思ったよりも悪くなかったって感じでしょうか。それは先輩って思いのほか乙女だったんですね。いろいろと経験豊富な方だとばかり思ってたんですが。ゆるちゃんがいじめる。
I sniffled and wiped an imaginary tear from my eye, but Yoda didn't back down. In fact, he seemed to be enjoying this. A lot.
さて、冗談はここまでにして結論なんですが、少し時間をいただけますか？恋愛相談なんて初めて受けましたので、いろいろと整理する時間が欲しいんです。了解。おかえり、ヨルちゃん。どこ行ってたの？ただいま。かなこさんのところにちょっと。何かいいことあったの？どうして？だってすごい楽しそうな顔してるもん。それはもう。ヨルちゃんがなんか黒い。
Yoda, you're scaring me.
おはよう。おはようございます。おはよ
Morning. Kanako came bounding out of her room and down the stairs. She took her seat and looked from me to the kitchen and back again, a quizzical look on
う。ヨ
her
ル
face.
ちゃん、おはようございます。
Kanako stared dumbly at Yoru as she flitted around the kitchen.
ヨルちゃん、朝食は自分が作るって急に言い出して。
She had already started by the time I got up, so I figured why not.
なるほど。
Whoops.
言っておくけど、生半可な料理じゃ私は満足しないからね。
Don't act like you're some celebrity chef. You're in no position to judge.
お待たせしました。どうぞ。
Huh? Found it difficult to tear my eyes away from what had been placed on the table. Got that the others looked equally confused.
何これ。 何ってお赤飯ですけど。
Fuck just moved.
いや、それはわかるんだけど、どうして朝からお赤飯？なんだか急にお赤飯が食べたくなったの。それにかなこさんも好きだって言うし。かなが
Kotri didn't look convinced.
昨日の夜私に言ったじゃないですか。
Kanako gasped, apparently only just realizing what the Yoru meant.
さあ冷めないうちに食べてください。
Considering this was allegedly one of her favorite foods, Kanako didn't look that eager to dig in. Well, no leftovers means cleaning up is easier, at least. After dinner, I went to clean things up. Decided tonight's main dish would be curry and rice. It was easy to make and always a popular choice too. Sometimes I went a little overboard with the spices, but generally people seem to like it. Kanako didn't finish the meal. Normally she was the first one to clean and plate. Never seen her leave so much untouched before. She's alright. Although she'd been acting distant for a while now, this morning was worse than ever. She'd barely spoken a word, like she was deep in thought about something. And every time she looked at me, she started to blush. In spite of that, she couldn't take her eyes off me. She turned away whenever she thought I wasn't looking, but I could tell. I could only suppose this had something to do with the day I was sick. That was the last time things had felt normal between me and Kanako. Since then, I still hadn't found a chance to sit down and really talk things through with her. I'm gonna have to just pin her down and hear what she has to say.
おはよう。おはよう。いやー、今日も可愛いね、小鳥ちゃん。抱きついてこないでよ。
Morning, Kotri.
おはよう、葵くん。
And, good morning to you too, Kanako.
おはよう。お腹すいたな。コドリも空いてるでしょ。何よ、そのわざとらしい会話。
Right, breakfast. I'll get right on it. Want to go ahead and use the bathroom while you're waiting?
そうさせてもらおっかな。
What's up, Kotri? Is there something on my face?
別に。ねえねえ、誰かお醤油取ってくれる？醤油？
See, what was it? I'll get it. Here you
あり
go.
がとね。
Kanako took the bottle of sauce from Aoi. Their fingers touched for a brief moment.
ごめんごめん。
No problem.
やっぱりおかしいと思わない？え？おかしいって何かですか？葵くんとカンナのことよ。なんかよそよそしいじゃない？そうなの。鳥先輩の気にしすぎじゃないですか？だから鳥先輩言うな。葵くんなんかそわそわしてるし、カンナも服を着てるじゃない？いや、服は着 きて当たり前でしょうが。いきなりすぎるのよ。私たちがあれだけ言ってもずーっと面倒だって言って聞かなかったのに。言われてみれば。いや、納得しないで姉さん。今回の出来事、何か裏があるに違いないわ。幅根小鳥の名にかけて真相をすべてお見通しにしてあげる。裏って何さ。というか、いろんなものがごっちゃになってない？昨日探偵もののコラボドラマがやってたので影響されまくりじゃない。待ってなさいみんな。たった一つの真実まるっと暴いてみせるから。言っちゃいましたね。止めなくていいんですか？言ったって聞かないわよきっと。私たちにできるのは小鳥がやりすぎないように祈ることだけ。やりすぎちゃダメですよ小鳥先輩。本気で祈らなくていいから。ねえねえ、水瀬くんとかなこさんが付き合ってるって本当？かなちゃん、ちゃんと服を着るようになったでしょ？
あれって水瀬くん以外の人に下着を見せたくないから自重してるらしいわよ。
でもあんまりイチャイチャしてないよね。むしろお互いに遠慮してるというか。
付き合い始めたばかりだから二人とも照れてるだけじゃない？
その分二人きりの時にラブラブしてるのよ。
I went after Kanako to try to talk things through with her, but she nimbly dodged all my attempts to catch her. She was always one step ahead. The rest of the day flew by without me accomplishing anything. On the other hand, some odd rumors were starting to get around.
例の噂だけど、かなこさんの学年まで広まってるらしいわよ。
Seriously? I was feeling pretty bewildered. It was hard to imagine how people got a hold of such a weird idea. Me and Kanako going out. Not just that, they said we'd started living together too. If people would just stop and think about it, they'd see how wrong they are.
一躍時の人になっちゃったわね、葵。で、実際のところどうなの？実は一部事実が混じってたり。
No way, they're completely groundless.
だよね。仲いいなぁとは思ったけど、そういう雰囲気じゃなさそうだったし。
What am I supposed to do now?
ぼやくなぼやくな。私からもフォロー入れといてあげるから。
Thanks, I appreciate it. Aga flashed me a thumbs up. Trusted her to try her best, but I wasn't sure if denials from anyone else would do any good at this point. Hope Kanako's doing okay.
だから全部ただの噂。みんなの勘違いなんだって。
そうなの？
期待させちゃってごめんね。でもそれならなんであんな噂が？噂になるようなことあったとか？いやー、なんでだろうね。あまり身に覚えがないんだけど。
下着姿で出歩いてたからとかじゃない？
それは全然関係ないと思うけど、大いに関係あると思うけどな。おはよう、ダーリン。愛してるわ。
That's just the kind of behavior that's starting all these rumors about us, you know.
ごめんごめん。いやー、しかし参ったね。
You don't seem all that worried about it. I've been doing my best to deny and put a stop to any and all rumors I heard. Apparently you and I are already thinking about getting married.
みたいね。私から告白したとか、葵くんが告白したとか。朝ちゃんの学年だと学生結婚を果たしたことになってるらしいわよ。
It's like every new story tries to take things that extra step further. Couldn't help but smile. Kanako seemed to pick up on my mood and smiled back at me. The way our thoughts synced up kinda had me on the back foot though.
先生方は本気にしてないみたいだけど、突拍子もない噂だし。
I'll probably burn out once everyone finds something else to talk about. What if people who ask me about it are just looking to yank my chain anyway? Then again, the guys who asked me for romance tips and the girls that coyly fished for intimate details were still in the majority. It was probably the same for Kanako in her class. Guess there are some kids that have been completely fooled too. I caught Sadako to the outer corner of my eye. She was making a none-too-subtle attempt to hide herself in the shadows. She has no idea how obvious she's being, does she?
もう騒ぐだけ騒いだらみんなコロッと忘れちゃうわよ。
Hope so. I wish I was as good as you at staying out of the spotlight. Probably as soon as I got through denying one story, another would spring up just to take its place. How did these rumors even get started in the first place? Back on the last few days, only one explanation occurred to me. Alright, I've been meaning to ask you something for a while now. That day you took care of me while I was sick. Did I do something to... Huh? A few seconds I took my eyes off her. Kanako had run off. From somewhere far off I heard the sound of a door closing. Oh jeez, not again.
今日も張り切っていこっかな。
Do we though?
あ、あかりさん、こんにちは。こんなところでどうされたんですか？こんにちは。休養でちょっと飛び様相まで。休養ですか？ええ。可及的速やかに確認しなければならないことが出てきたから。私たち問題を起こした覚えないんですけど。ああ、誤解しないでちょうだい。用があるのはソアリング部ではなく、水瀬くんとかなこさんの2人によ。というわけで一緒に来たんだけど。
Oh, great. I was summoned from my room by Akari. It was nice she'd taken time away from the student council to visit, but her silence worried me. She'd fixed her attention on me with an even more fierce gaze than usual.
ちょっと葵、一体何しでかしたのよ。あんなに怒ってるあかりさん、初めて見るんだけど。
I blamed the rumors about me and Kanako. She's probably expecting an explanation. Aga nodded, satisfied. The rumors now said that Kanako and I had gotten married and gone on our honeymoon all over the course of summer vacation. What the fuck?
こっちですよ、かなこさん。あら、本当にあかりちゃんだ。私に話って？かなこさんには後で聞かせてもらうわ。まずは水瀬くん。あなたからよ。
Right.
先日、気になる話を耳にしたわ。ここに来たのは、真偽のほどを確かめるためよ。
Is it the thing about me and Kanako getting together? A hint of relief crossed Akari's face. She nodded. It would be easier for all of us if we got straight to the heart of the
交
problem.
際そのものにとやかく言うつもりはないわ。二人の中に口を出す筋合いなんて私にはないから。
But that doesn't give me the right to tell anyone how... Whoops, that's still part of her life. What the fuck?
私が聞きたいのは、もっと別のことよ。
Akari closed the distance between her and me in one swift step. She was staring daggers at me. I started to tense up in spite of
あな
myself.
た、かなこさんを、妊娠させたって、本当？
Pregnant?
私が？さらには赤飯を炊いて、みんなでお祝いしたというのはどういうことかしら。
From here, I could see that Akari's shoulders were trembling with rage. She was so different from her usual calm and collected self. It was more than a little
それ
unnerving.
って、この間のお赤飯のことですか？え、マジなの？
Look, we ate some Osekion a while ago. That much is true. But it has nothing to do with whatever crazy story you might have heard. I won't deny I like Kanako, but we were never in that kind of relationship. Just casually? Huh? The Kanako tense up for a moment there?
そうよ。そもそも葵くんとは付き合ってすらないもの。
Well, yeah, of course she tenses up. You just like casually drop the fucking confession in the middle of a conversation and nobody fucking acknowledged it.
なら、どうしてこんな噂が立つの？誤解されるようなことがあったからでしょう。
Maybe so, but I have no idea what it could have been.
説明がめんどいな。
Kanako was wilting on the council president's interrogation. Truth, I did suspect what the starting point of these rumors could have been, but without any evidence, it was hard to explain. All I could do was ask Akari to take my and Kanako's word
そ
for
れは
it.
私が説明してあげる。
No! 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 No!
この声は
I turned in the direction that the beat declaration had come from. Kotori? Wheeled in by Yoru, Kotori arrived on the scene, radiating confidence from
何
every
か知
pull.
っているみたいね、ハバネさん。
ええ、すべてを掴んだわ。そこの二人に代わって真相を語ってあげる。はあ
These images are for
どう
illustrative
して私
purposes.
まで。
Kotori chuckled, clearly enjoying her moment. Yoru didn't share her enthusiasm. They were like complete polar opposites. Who knew what they were going to do next?
カナは妊娠なんてしてないわ。それはカナ本人を見ていればわかるはずよ。カナコさんをですか？へえ、だってカナのお腹は膨らんでないもの。つまり妊娠はありえないわ。
いやいや、たとえしてても時期的にありえないから、それ何の説明にもなってないって。
Get fucked.
もちろん根拠はこれだけじゃないわ。そもそも二人が付き合いだしたのはつい最近よ。イチャイチャとかラブラブとかしてたとしても妊娠するとは考えられないわ。
ふーん、イチャイチャとかラブラブしてないってば、そんなこと。
Yeah, Kotori, if you're going to try to disprove the rumors, shouldn't you start with the relationship itself?
今さら照れなくてもいいじゃない。私たちは葵くんとカナを応援してるわよ。
Alright, that's enough. Kanako and I are the only ones who know the truth. We're the ones who'll tell you how it happened. When she heard that, Kanako looked like she was going to jump out of her chair. However embarrassing this might be for the two of us, if you left it to Kotori, the story would only drift further from the truth. It wasn't as if I had anything to hide. Better to get everything out of the open here and now and avoid any more confusion.
悪ふざけはその辺にしてください、鳥先輩。ここからは私が説明しますから。助手のあんたは黙ってなさいよ。こらちょっと。はいはい、お疲れ様でした。あと勝手に助手にしないでください。
Kotori reluctantly withdrew from the spotlight.
ようやく納得のいく説明をしてもらえそうね。
さすがに見ていて気の毒になってきたので。今回の噂ですが、
なるほど。噂は事実無根で、実際はかなこさんが水瀬くんの看病をしただけなのね。
People heard about it from you and the story just got twisted along the way, huh?
そういうことです。じゃああの赤飯は何だったの？あれは単に私が食べたかっただけよ。言わなかった？紛らわしいわね。どんどん噂が広まるからどうしようかと思ったわよ。話すタイミングが見つからなかったんです。決してこの状況を楽しんでいたわけではないので。
I find that hard to believe.
ただ私もここまで噂が大きくなるとは考えてませんでした。そこは謝罪します。
Yoru bowed her head in apology. It wasn't often she accepted responsibility like this.
一番原因があるのはあなたたち二人だということを忘れないようにね。
Akari wasn't going to let us off easy. You're right. I'm sorry.
はーい。
とてもそうは見えないんだけど。
I'm glad we finally cleared this up. Aren't you, Kanako?
ああ、うん。そうね。
Huh? Something bothering her. There'll be some lingering questions that needed answering. Seeing Akari off, I went back to my room and let out a heavy sigh. On one hand, I was relieved there wouldn't be any more weird stories about me from here on out, but I also had this odd sense of frustration floating around somewhere in the back of my mind. I'm glad we finally cleared this up, aren't you, Kanako?
そう
You
ね
literally just heard that. Groaning, I sank down
なん
onto
で
my
か
bed.
な
Should have been happy that this misunderstanding had been put to rest, but somehow I just couldn't settle
な
down.
んかモヤモヤする
Whatever this feeling was, it was the first time in my life I'd experienced anything like it. Like, are they really just gonna ignore the fact that he just, like, casually confessed in the middle of the last scene? Are you just gonna ignore that? Like, what the fuck? Alright, we were practicing at the Soaring Club HQ by the time I noticed. We were practically at the Soaring Club HQ by the time I
どうし
noticed.
たの
I left something behind.
忘れ物ってもしかして寮に
I nodded. It was probably in my room or the dining hall. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to head back. Go on ahead without me. Asa and Yuru would have probably arrived and started work already. I don't want to keep them waiting or waste everyone else's time just because I've made a dumb
了解
mistake.
なるはやで戻ってくるのよ
I won't. Oh no, is this gonna be a so ominous situation?
お客さ
Or
ん
not? It's only me, Kanako. Having grabbed what I'd forgotten from my room, I hurried to leave, but then Kanako appeared. She had her clothes bunched up under her arm. She'd just gone out of the bath. It was the first time I'd seen her in her underwear for a while. I didn't know where to
あ
look.
れ葵くんなんで今日はこんなに早いの
I left some behind by accident. I just came back to get it. How about you? What's with the outfit?
あ
Kanako seemed to finally realize what she was wearing, or not wearing, as the case may be. A short sigh escaped me. I know you're sensitive to the heat, but it'd be nice if you could keep clothes on while you're in the communal areas.
あごめんねちゃんと服着るわ
Wouldn't want anyone getting the wrong idea, especially as soon after we... Huh? Kanako shook out her clothes and started covering herself up there and then. Her face was flushing more and more red, defeated by some inner flame.
ほらお風呂上がりだったからさねえあんまり目くじら立てずに見逃してちょっと待ってねすぐ来ちゃうから
Huh? She was getting more and more flustered every second. Don't get changed out here! Go back to your room!
なんでよ
I'm standing right here! And what if someone else walked in on us? Not only that, but Kanako was in such a rush, her chest was bouncing all over the place. Somehow watching her put clothes on felt more erotic than any amount of exposed flesh could. For a moment I could have sworn I actually saw smoke rising from her head. Eventually she was fully dressed again. Our eyes met and Kanako smiled through her
気をつける
embarrassment.
からさ今回は見逃して
Just this one. I smiled too, and we lapsed back in silence.
それで何忘れたの
The piloting manual. I thought it might come in handy for studying the controls and
へ
stuff.
えそんな本とかもあるんだ
Yeah, it's pretty cool, easy to follow too. I flipped the book open as it turned an interesting page, doing my best to look casual. My heart was beating like crazy, but I managed to stop the excitement from showing on my face. Don't get me wrong, I was glad Kanako and I felt comfortable enough to be around each other like normal again. It was just, she was so casual about everything, I wonder if she even registered me as a guy in her mind.
葵くん
Kanako looked a little confused at my reaction. I didn't blame her. The rumor about us may have died down, but that slight awkwardness between us still hadn't gone away. Figured now was the time to force the issue. Kanako? If you know anything about that day I was sick, I'd be really grateful if you could tell me about it.
なんで
My whole memory of that day is kind of fuzzy. It's been bothering me for a while. You started acting a little strange after that day. So if I said anything or did anything, please just let me know so I can make it right.
気のせいじゃない？
Then why won't you look me in the eye anymore? Even now she was trying to run away again, but I blocked her escape route. She jerked away. Not letting you weasel out of it this time.
それよりほら、コトリンたちのとこに戻らなくていいの？
They can wait, this is more important.
別にもういいじゃない。何もかも万事解決したんだから。
Kanako, please. Brought my face right up close to hers. Her eyes went wide in surprise, but she stayed put.
はいはい。もう、わかったわよ。
She held up both hands in
立ち
surrender.
話も疲れるし、ちょっと座って話そっか。
Sure. They both settled down on the chairs in the lobby. And then she fucking ran. Shit! So, you don't remember anything either?
そういうこと。だから、私も説明しようがないのよ。
Kanako smiled apologetically. I couldn't really blame her. Guess we were both in the same boat. We should at least told me this much, though. Why all the secrecy?
そんなつもりはないわよ。ただ、説明するのが面倒だっただけで。
You say that, but you were obviously just as bothered by this as me. Things between us probably would have stayed the same as before otherwise. Kanako grimaced slightly. Must have been right on the mark. She sighed and hung her head
し
dejectedly.
かし、葵くんも思い出せないとなると、真相は闇の中ってことよね。
Not necessarily. You never know when something might jog your memory. Let's agree to sit down and talk like this again if that ever does happen. Sounded like a totally reasonable suggestion to me, but Kanako had to think about it for a
そうした
while.
方が良さそうね。このままにしておくのも気持ち悪いし。
Not it, even with everything out in the open, I still felt like we hadn't put this issue to rest yet. I mostly trusted my own sense of decency, but if it turned out something had happened, I needed to be prepared to take responsibility. Responsibility. How would I do that exactly? My options were pretty limited. Kanako and I would have to start going out at the very least. But the others would probably try to push us in that direction too. I could feel my face going red just thinking about it. Kanako gave me a suspicious glance. I won't flake out and say it's too much trouble again. You won't flake out and say it's too much trouble again, right?
ええ、葵くんもね。
That's fair, I'll be careful. Kanako laughed and my heart started racing again. This could be bad. I couldn't let myself get excited over nothing. Right then, my phone started to ring. The caller's ID said Ageha. Hello?
ちょっと葵、今どこにいるのよ。
Sorry, I'm still at the door. I'll leave right
全
now.
速力で来て。ちょっとトラブっちゃって、葵の手が必要なの。
Trouble?
朝ちゃんと夜ちゃんが。
Huh? What the fuck's going on now? The air hung heavy between the two sisters. The other girls looked uncomfortable too. Each and every one of them looked completely at a loss for what to do or say. Also, Nero had been getting into more quarrels lately, but it seemed like this one blew all the rest out of the water. I'd come running as soon as I got the word from Agia. The atmosphere here felt much worse than I could have imagined. Asa had flown into a rage and laid into her sister with a stream of insults. Yodo had acted like she couldn't hear a thing and just let Asa's criticism wash right over her. We managed to calm them down a little, but it wasn't exactly a productive atmosphere we had going on. We had to suspend all club activities while we got each sister's side of the story. So, what are you two fighting about?
夜ちゃんのせいです。
I'm not asking whose fault it is, I'm asking what the topic is.
姉さんがわからず屋のせいでしょ。わからず屋なのは夜ちゃんの方だもん。
Cut it out, you two. Be cool. Sparks were starting to fly again already. I asked them to separate the two of
ど
them.
うして夜 夜ちゃんは私が資格を取ることに反対するの？反対なんてしてないわ。でも姉さんが取る必要なんてないじゃない。
Your license? Did I mean what I think it did? I looked to Kotri and Aga for confirmation. They both
朝
nodded.
ちゃん、グライダーの資格を取りたいんだって。
Is that true, Asa? Asa nodded firmly.
私だってソアリング部の一員です。もっと皆さんの役に立ちたいんです。朝の気持ちはすごい嬉しかったし、私は応援したかったんだけど、それなのに風と妹が朝に文句をつけて。人聞きの悪い言い方しないでください。私はそんな慌てなくてもいいと言ってるんです。だって資格なんてなくても姉さんはもう十二分に役に立ってるじゃない。それは。
Asa looked over at me for a second.
こらこら、そこで自信なさげな顔しないの。本当に助かってるんだから。朝ちゃんが手伝ってくれなかったら今よりももっと作業が遅れちゃってただろうし。
Not only that, we couldn't even have brought back the soaring glove without
そう
you.
いうわけよ。だからもっと胸を張りなさいって朝。
Kotri's praise seemed to get through to
有
Asa.
資格者も相手の都合に合わせて作業スケジュールを組めば問題ないはずよ。いざとなったら天音先輩もいるんだし。
Sure, I guess it's okay to ask Amane for advice now and then.
資格なんて取らなくても姉さんは夜ちゃん。なんでもないわ。
Yodo clammed up and started to sulk. She cleared her throat and tried to steer the conversation back
と
on
にか
track.
く今は期待のことを優先した方がいいんじゃないと思ったの。
Asa's only response to her sister's well-reasoned argument was a low growl. Kotri was also silently chewing over Yodo's argument. Huh? Where did Kanako get here? Could see her in shadows at the entrance, sneaking a glance in my direction. Her eyes met, she gave me a resigned smile.
喉乾いた。ありゃ、みんなしてそんな難しい顔しちゃってどうしたの？
Oh, understood now. She's been waiting for a chance to make an
ね
entrance.
えねえ、何があったの？
Well... And that about covers it.
なるほどね。
Finished giving Kanako a rundown of the situation. As for Yoro and Asa, they were both sulking now, facing away from each other. Asgard, just go for the compromise. You need to focus on getting the remodeling done for your glider first anyways. Since even if she were to get her glider's license rather quickly, she still wouldn't be able to use it since, you know, the glider isn't finished yet. So just start on the glider's license once the remodeling is done. After that, it'll be mostly like test flights and adjusting the remodeled craft to fly better anyways, which would be more of a job for a more seasoned flyer like Aoi. Just makes sense like that. As for Yuru and Asa, they're both sulking now, facing away from each other. Kanako looked from one to the other and smirked.
ソアリング部のみんなって本当にどんなことにも一生懸命だね。
Her smirk changed to a full, good-hearted smile. You could tell this was her way of trying to
で
help.
ももう少し肩の力抜いてみてもいいんじゃない？
That got their attention. Asa and Yoda were looking at Kanako as if they'd started speaking in
突っ
tongues. She'd
走るこ
started
とも
speaking
必
in
要だけど
tongues.
周りが見えなくなるのは怖いわよ。楽はできる時にしとくべきよ。肝心なところでつまずいたりしたら元も子もないんだから。
Kanako started easing the tension out of the situation like it was the most natural thing in the world. Kotriage and I were all staring at her too now.
あ
She finally noticed how many people's gazes were focused on her. I probably put some pressure on her, but she tried her best to shrug it off.
あ、私が言うなって話なんだけどね。
I think I get what Kanako means.
どういうこと？
Basically, I think we've let Asa take on too much on her own. She worked just as hard, harder even, than any of us. Because she never complained, we started taking her efforts for granted. As one of the older club members, I should have shown her more consideration, but I hadn't noticed until Kanako pointed it out. Would Asa have kept on working all alone until she collapsed from exhaustion? The thought of what might have happened sent a chill down my spine. Knew these two better than I did. She'd seen the signs of stress where the rest of us missed them. Our real challenges are only just the beginning. We've got to take things slow and steady. And Asa, try to think less about how you can be useful to the club and more on what you're actually interested in doing.
わかりました。私の話は聞かなかったのに、どうして葵先輩の言葉は簡単に受け入れるのよ。
I ignored the jealous stare Yoru shot at me and gave Asa a gentle pat on the head. I mean, Yoru also didn't formulate it that way. She literally just said, like, don't fucking study for the test. That's literally all she did. She didn't do any explaining. She just fucking went out of her way to, like, try to assert her dominance, basically. I didn't feel like we were going to get anything else done today, so everyone heads back to the dorm at their own rooms. Kanako called Kanako back before she could leave. I need to properly thank her for helping reconcile Yoru and Asa. For some reason, though, she looked less than chipper now that the moment had
なん
passed.
か、ごめんね。
Huh? For what?
まあ、余計なことしちゃったなって。
She smiled awkwardly. Couldn't let her stay like that. I shook my head emphatically. No, it's not true at all. I was a little surprised at first, but I'm really glad you stepped in to help.
嬉しい？
She blinked in confusion. Yeah, it shows how close you've gotten to those two. It feels like you're really a part of the group now. So yeah, it really made me happy.
本当に？ちょっとうざいなとか思ったりしなかった？
Of course
そっ
not.
か。だったらいいんだけどね。
Kanako put a hand over her heart, looking all kinds of relieved. Her smile had relaxed into something more natural. Seeing her like that, my pulse started to race again.
やっちゃったな。
I'd only gone along to watch how things played out, but I just had to open my big mouth. Before I knew it, everyone was looking at me.
でも、
Always said it made him happy. I hadn't been expecting him to say that. I felt something like relief, with a pinch of happiness mixed in. Oh,
葵くんならいいのかな。
There we go, all the prep is done. What's next? Been a little too reliant on miso lately, so today I wanted to make some osamashi soup instead. Morning!
いい匂い。今日の朝ごはんは何何？
I went all out with some classic Japanese dishes. I tried some salmon and sesame oil, seasoned it with ponzu sauce and negi, and served it with white rice, mitsuba parsley, and natto. On top of that, I threw together some leftovers with a salad from aburage and mizuna greens. All I needed to do now was dress some spinach and sprinkle on sesame seeds, then fry some eggs, and it would be all ready.
おほー。どれどれ？
Oh, hey, give me some warning before you come swooping in,
あ
jeez.
あまあ、固いこと言わない言わない。
Wow, a smile that cute should be illegal. It made me feel like nothing else mattered.
手慣れたものね。
Kanako tucked some loose strands of her hair behind her ear and nodded in approval. Found myself entranced by her movements. Sweet aroma drifted into my nostrils. Hey, forgot to light the stove. Do you mind stepping back a little?
はいはい。
I felt the tension going out of my shoulders as Kanako moved away. The distance between her and me had closed over the last few days, both emotionally and physically. I was happy I got to see that lovely smile of hers again, even if it was a tad overly relaxed now. Once again, I found myself wondering if she even considered me a guy at all.
おはよ
Let the music stop.
う。おはよう。どこに？ハット先輩もおはようっす。わわ。
Here, drink this. It might help you wake up. And go through your usual coffee with a dash of milk and
あ
sugar.
りがとう。
Help yourself to some too, Kanako.
サンキュー。苦い。でも、目が覚めるわ。
The last time I drank coffee was in my seminars, and it was hell. I knew that I didn't like coffee, but it was literally like dropping away in the middle of the seminar every few seconds. So I decided to go get myself a coffee at the coffee machine they had in the little break room. So I went there and I got a cappuccino with extra sugar. Just because I knew that I didn't like coffee. So I thought, hey, maybe like over fucking sweeten it. It was still bitter as all fucking hell and I hated it. I literally did not finish that one. I threw it in the trash. Because no one wanted it. Oh well.
ねえねえ、今日も部活あるんでしょ？私もついてっていい？構わないわよ。そんなにあの秘密基地が気に入った？もう、そんなとこ。
Meiji was still worried about us and Yoru. It was the first time we'd seen those two get into a fight that fierce. It was unsettling considering how close they usually were.
まあいいわ。戦力が増えるのは喜ばしいことだし。
Right, we could use an extra hand or two. The Clyde parts we asked Tatsuya for were finally getting delivered today.
うん。やっぱり次の機会ということで。ダメ。
Not happening. And so we recruited a strong and reliable new worker. Took a break and sat back from my desk. As I was working my stiff neck back and forth, I heard a chiming sound. Glanced back at the clock. The day had really flown by. I've been sitting in the same position nearly 2 hours solid. Not when I was feeling so close though. It's open! Could it be at this
こんばん
hour?
は。
Kanako? What are you still doing
ちょ
up?
っとだけいい？
Sure, something bothering you?
私ね。やっぱり気になって仕方ないの。
Oh, thinking about it. I Kanako remember something from that day.
葵くん。お願い。あの時読ませてくれた漫画貸して。
You did?
ほら、看病してた時に漫画借りてたでしょ？すごいいいとこで止まっちゃってたから気になってしょうがなくて。
Is this gonna be the filter that makes her remember? Is that all? You had me worried for a minute there. Technically, it's not even mine. I'm just borrowing it from Ageha. It's all on that shelf over there.
了解。
Kanako bounded over to the bookshelf, brimming with excitement. She must have really been looking forward to reading the
と
series.
ころで、さっきから何やってるの？
Just putting together some stuff for the soaring club. Some encouragement from Yoru, I started summarizing what we'd achieved and drawing up a provisional schedule for future activities. Having something like this on hand would be a huge help. I was surprised I hadn't thought of making one sooner.
こんな遅くまで頑張るね、葵くんは。
Kanako put her hands over my shoulders and leaned over to look at my PC screen. Her moist hair touched my cheek. Her face was right next to mine. She smelled of whatever soap she'd been using. The smell of whatever soap she'd been using still clung enticingly to her skin. Hey, you're a little close.
はいはい、お邪魔さま。
Ah! Let out a scream. Let out a cry as I felt something cold press against me. I looked up and saw Kanako smirking, holding a can of iced coffee.
差し入れ。あんまし無理しないようにね。
Thanks. Don't worry, I won't. I'll call it a night as soon as I reach a good cutoff
な
point.
らばよし。次倒れたりしても看病してあげないわよ。
That's fair. I'll be careful.
そいじゃあね
She smiled one last time before leaving, putting the can into my hand. I pegged her as this much of a night owl. Grabbing all these comics this late in the day wouldn't leave a lot of time to actually read. Maybe she only wanted to see me? Nah, it couldn't be. I need to get over myself. I couldn't help speculating, though. Kanako was on my mind a lot lately. I found myself thinking about her more and more often. Kanako. That should do it for today. I wasn't going to get any more work done with the way I was feeling. Okay, we're heading now.
ギスバ頼んだわよかなよろしくお願いしますはいはいそっちも怪我とかしないようにね
Once everybody left the atmosphere in the dorm settled down, it became a lot
今
quieter.
日は私一人か
No school today, however, the others were all away enjoying some soaring club activities. Yodo had some other matters she needed to attend to, and Sanai's group was out making the most of their day off.
さーて私はどうしよっかな
I'd be able to take it easy today. I didn't have any tests I needed to study for. But there wasn't really anything I wanted to do, though.
そういえば洗濯物が溜まってたっけ
Always said he was planning to do it all tomorrow. The weather was so ideal, it'd be a waste to wait until then. Who knew when we'd get another sunny day like this? May as well strip off what I was wearing
どう
too.
せだし全部まとめてやっちゃいますか
Oh boy.
とよし真っ白
The bed sheets were shimmering clean and white in the sunshine. Cool breeze gently buffeted them back and forth. The sun today was strong, but not as harsh as it had been.
いよいよ夏も終わりって感じねわあわあおうハット先輩チッスわああんたも涼みに来たのわわやっぱりそっか涼しくなってきたもんね
Hat spread his little wings out, then letting the wind rustle his feathers. Watched him waddle around for a while and spaced out, mesmerized by the movements of the laundry in the breeze.
こうして見ると男物の下着って地味なのが多いわねわ XL のシャツなんて初めて見たわ思ったよりも大きいわね
Just what I expect from a sportsman like Aoi. He was such a well-built guy, he always gave off this feeling of stability. And he had a good sense of style too. There weren't many other guys like him around.
ハット先輩わあ葵くんってさいろいろと見どころがある男の子だと思わないまあハット先輩から見ればまだまだひよっこかもしれないけどね実際まだまだ抜けてるところも多いし子供っぽい部分もあるんだけど
But now wasn't the time to get distracted by that stuff. In spite of his shortcomings, I wanted to root for him.
やっぱり男の子なんだよねすごく頼りがいがあったりするし
Started out just fooling around, but now I just couldn't help taking my own words seriously.
調子狂っちゃうわねどうしてこうなっ
When
ちゃ
I
ったの
first arrived, I hadn't thought a lot of him. As dorm mothers go, he was pretty unique, but that was it. But ever since that one weird day, I've been on my thoughts more and more. For a while after that, I hadn't known how to act around him, but we were starting to get used to each other again now. I had never complained during all that awkwardness, never got mad at me. No, once acted like it was my fault. Now things were fine. Now things were fine. Totally relaxed around him. If I knew it, we started to get a lot closer.
もしかして私女として意識されてない
Somehow I found that notion frustrating. Sure, he blushed and got fidgety if I got too up close and personal with him, but that much of a reaction was normal. Kind of wanted to see him get even more flustered
こ
around me.
んなにいい女なのにねえハット先輩わあっていうかなんでこんな話になってるんだろうこれじゃあまるで私がやめやめ
My ramblings had strayed into some pretty weird territory. I tried to focus on the laundry and drive all other thoughts out of my head. Form is emptiness,
洗
emptiness
濯
is
終わ
form.
り。なんか一日分働いた気がするぞ。もしかしてお腹空いちゃった？なんだか私も。
My stomach had been rumbling for a while now. I hadn't put so much energy into housework in a long time.
冷蔵庫になんか残ってたかな。
Opening the fridge, I saw plenty of leftover ingredients that looked like they could be whipped up. They could be used to whip up a nice
冷
meal.
飯に豚肉の切れ端。あとは卵と。
None of them looked all that palatable on their own. We were out of instant ramen
しょう
too.
がない。あり合わせで何か作ってみましょうかね。これだけあればチャーハンとか作れそうね。
I'll be entirely honest with you, I was waiting for this. I saw this CG in the opening. I was waiting for it. Kanako has entered wife mode. Last time I made that dish, he'd used ingredients pretty similar to these. Let this recipe go again.
フライパンに油を引くのよね。具材はチャーハンだから何でもいけるわよね。具材とご飯は一緒に炒めちゃっても大丈夫よね。あとは塩と胡椒。あれ？調味料ってどこにしまってるんだろう。焦げちゃう。
I killed the heat as fast as I could.
遅かったか。ちょっと焦げちゃってるわね。でももうこれぐらいなら平気でしょ。釜飯の焦げと似たようなものだろうし。
Matt's like, Jesus, this is kind of sad to watch.
あとは卵を落としつつ塩コショウで味付け。ちょっと入れすぎた？まあいいか。別に食べられないことはないでしょ。大丈夫だってハット先輩。食べられないものなんて入れてないから。
Composing myself, I relit the burner under the frying pan.
思ってた以上に難しいな。やっぱり私には向いてないのかも。
Time flies, huh? Today went by so fast. I had to call an end to our club meeting earlier since I needed to buy some stuff for dinner. I'm back! Hat? That was sudden. As soon as I came in, Hat ran flapping out of the dining hall and disappeared through his door into Koteri's room. Did something happen?
おかえり。
Dang. Kanako in a cooking apron? I was taken aback by this unexpected but not exactly unwelcome sight.
どうしたのよ。そんなとこでぼーっと突っ立っちゃって。
Oh, sorry, I was just a little surprised.
これのこと？我ながら似合ってると思うんだけど。
I wouldn't argue with that. The lady on her hand really completed the domestic look, and the Kanako twirled around on the spot. Her hair, tied back in a ponytail, trailed behind her.
どう？
Yeah, it looks pretty great.
でしょ？
Her bashful smile made me want to blush too. Anyways, when did you learn to cook?
できないわよ。
Then what's with the apron?
私も簡単に済ませるつもりだったんだけど、レトルトとかなくってさ、買い出しに行こうと思ったんだけど、外出るのも面倒だなって。だからいい機会かなと思って料理に挑戦してみたのよ。
Kanako let down her hair, folded up the apron and carried a piping hot dish on the table. Is this fried rice?
チャーハン 分のつもり。やっぱり慣れないことはするもんじゃないわね。
It doesn't look that bad to me. Some of the rice looked slightly burned, but not enough to ruin it.
盛り付けはね。
Hey, can I try some?
やめといた方がいいと思うよ。美味しくないと思うし。
You never know until you try, right? Plus, this is the first time I've ever seen you cook. A chance like this doesn't come along too
う
often.
まいこと言っちゃって。そこまで言うならどうぞ。
Thanks. Found a spoon and scooped up some of Kanako's fried rice for myself. Here goes nothing. It was. Okay, you were right.
でしょ。
We looked at each other for a moment and then laughed. But it could probably be fixed with a few little changes.
いいわよ。もう疲れちゃったし、大変だったんだから。
Hey, it's too soon to give up now. I'm here to help you, so it'll be much easier than trying on your own. I'd really like to eat some made by you and actually enjoy it.
そう言ってくれるのは嬉しいけど。
Come on, give it one more chance.
はーい。
Kanako nodded, albeit half-heartedly. I was gonna make Chinese for dinner tonight anyway. I've got a ton of ingredients that'll be ideal for this.
なんてタイミングの悪い。
Ready to try fried rice again?
はーい。
Begin with greasing the frying pan, then heat it until you start seeing a little smoke.
はいはい。
Kanako kept one hand on the pan ladle and stretched out the other towards the bottle of cooking oil. I gave her a quick warning. About 1 tablespoon of oil should be enough. I'd recommend measuring it out first.
大丈夫大丈夫。こういうのはフィーリングの方がうまく。
Measure by spoon first, just while you're getting used to it. This affects the rest of the dish more than you might think. Too much will make it goopy, but not enough and it'll stick to the bottom of the pan. I got out a measuring spoon. She took it with a smile. Drop by drop, she slowly and carefully measured out the right amount of oil. She looked so serious, but a little childlike too. Could only help. I could only help but wonder if this was how newlyweds felt in the kitchen. Where did that thought come from? My face flushed and I could feel my ears burning. I called myself back to reality and started slicing up some of the other ingredients.
次は味付けか。
Yeah, salt and pepper should do the trick. Then a little soy sauce to bring out the best of its aroma. If you want to keep it simple, don't use too much. Or you can pour in some more if you like it strong. Sorry. You don't need to stick to the recipe too strictly. That said, all that measuring by eye stuff doesn't look that reliable.
難しいわね。
Kanako puffed up her cheeks in frustration. Again, childlike, but not in a bad way. Held back another chuckle. It gets easier the more you do it. Everyone makes mistakes. You just have to learn from them.
失敗。
That's how I got this far.
嫌にならなかったの？
Nah, I just enjoyed it. I started to enjoy it before that happened. Maybe that's the secret of getting better at anything.
好きになることがコツか。
Sounds good. Okay, now we're at the final stage. Kanako wiped some sweat off her forehead and reached out for the seasonings. Doing so, she knocked against the frying pan. Watch out! Shot forward to stop the frying pan from toppling over. Kana had already turned around to do the same thing. For a moment our hands met, her fingers wrapped around hers. Oh, sorry, I was just trying to save the pan! I pulled my hand back. Kanako returned her attention to the fried rice as if nothing had happened. Kanako? Didn't answer, just kept shuffling the frying pan around. For a moment I thought she must have been concentrating really hard, but then the truth dawned on me. Her face had gone bright red from the tips of her ears all the way down to the back of her neck. Adorable. And then...
できた
Kanako cheerily presented her creation, a steaming, fragrant plate of fried rice. Took some time, but we could safely call this attempt a success. Congratulations. Looks great. The whole thing was well formed and had a glossy sheen to it. As far as appearances went, there was nothing to complain about. I had fun watching Kanako make it too.
それじゃあ早速 試食。重い。ほら、葵くんも食べてみて。
Sure, thanks. Alright, this is tasty. Served it up properly after that and enjoyed every bite. Rice was light and fluffy, none of it even at the least bit burnt this time. Every mouthful was packed with a full yet delicate flavor. It was an absolute
今
triumph.
日はありがとうね。最後まで付き合ってくれて。
I should be the one thanking you. You didn't have to agree to making the whole thing all over again.
最初はそうだったけどね。だんだん楽しくなってきたし、葵くんのアドバイスもなんというかいろいろと身に染みて理解できたし、だから本当にありがとう。
And
これから夕飯の支度でしょ。お返しにちょっとだけ手伝ってあげる。
faced with that carefree smile of hers, I felt like my heart was going to leap out right into my throat. Just nodding in reply took all the concentration I had. After
そ
school,
れじゃあ、あと少しで機体が出来上がるんだ。
yeah, the wings are shaping up nicely. They'll still need some fine-tuning
私
though.
にもあれだけ手伝わせたもんね。ほんと、人使い荒いんだから。
I was just so honored that you offered to help us. I wanted to make the most of having you around.
へりくつが上手くなってきたわね。
Despite the complaints, Kanako looked like she was having fun. She and I have been spending more time together lately. We often found ourselves walking home side by side. Thanks to the little extra help she'd given us, the soaring club was making good
いや
progress.
ー、しっかり青春してるわね。みんなが眩しく見えてしょうがないわ。なーによ、カナだって最近私たちと一緒になって楽しんでるでしょうが。いやいや、私はただの仮入部、スワーリング部のサポーターだもん。部じゃなくて風と姉妹のでしょ。朝はともかく小生意気な妹のどこがいいのよ。そこがあの子の魅力の一つだと思うんだけど。魅力、
You must have really liked those two, huh, Kanako?
なあに急に。
Like when Kanako first started helping out at the soaring club, she spent most of her time talking to Asa and Yoru. Kotori even said that Kanako had practically become the third Kasato's sister.
もうかわいい後輩だからね。もちろんコトリンとアゲハちゃんもそうだけど、取ってつけたように言われたって嬉しくないわよ。あれ、葵は違うんですか？葵くんはね、
Kanako threw me a
葵
furtive
くん
glance.
はもう可愛いって言っちゃダメかな。
Huh?
どうかした？
Oh, no, it's fine.
葵くんも可愛いって言ってほしかった？
Yeah, but that's not what I meant. Besides, if you said it now, I'd know it didn't mean anything.
男の子だもんね。かっこいいって言われた方が嬉しいでしょ。
There's a time and place for stuff
照
like
れ
that.
なくてもいいのに。
I'm not.
はいはい。
Kanako laughed it off as if she'd seen right through me.
すいません。お待たせしました。
Asa came running up to us, panting as she tried to catch her breath. Yoda came after her a little later.
そんなに慌てなくても大丈夫よ。私たちだってついさっき来たとこだから。だから言ったでしょ、姉さん。別に遅刻したわけじゃないんだから。そうだけど。待ってたわよ、朝ちゃん、夜ちゃん。私たちのですか？そうそう。二人がすんごい可愛い後輩だって話。いきなり姉さんに抱きつかないでください。ごめんごめん。ちゃんと夜ちゃんも可愛がってあげるから。そういう意味じゃなくて。
Yoda never stood a chance of escaping. She got pulled in close before she realized what was happening. Because of the difference in their height, the other two girls were getting a face full of Kanako's well-endowed chest.
なーに羨ましそうに見てるのよ。エッチ。
I am not!
ムキにならなくてもいいじゃない。そんなんだからカナにもからかわれるのよ。カナの方も葵くんのこと気に入ってるみたいだし、最近本当に仲良さそうにしてるもんね。
You noticed, huh? Kotori and Naga nodded in unison. Now that I thought about it, they had a point. Kanako and I had started spending close to whole days together. At first, we were just hoping to remember something from that day, but now it had become part of our regular routine. I'd asked her what she wanted to do, what she wanted for dinner, stuff like that. We helped each other out with whatever work we were doing too. Felt like I was learning more about her every day, and I wanted to get to know her even better. I was really in deep, wasn't I?
やっぱさ、本当はかなこさんと何かあったんじゃないの？
I told you before. Told you before it didn't. What? I told you before, didn't I? Don't look at me like that, Kotri. I know you want there to be some twist here, but it's not like that.
はーい。
What? Now, it didn't doesn't work because of the didn't it. I am the retarded one. May I drop in on the club today?
ああ、今日はやめとく。心配しなくてものんびりしてもらって構わないわよ。いやー、これからちょっと友達とウィンディまでね。それに素人の私がいても大して役に立たないしさ。
That's not true. It was just an instinctive reaction about that for finishing. Saw some girls looking our way and waving.
あー、やっと来た。おい、早くこっちこっち。はいはい、今行く。そんじゃ、みんなも頑張ってね。
Kanako waved to us and ran off to meet her friends. I watched her go until she was out of sight.
はあ。
Koto and Inage were smirking. Did something funny just happen? What? I wanted to feel left out, that's all.
やっぱりあの父に惹かれたのかしら。それとも下着姿に魅了されたのとか？どっちにしてもエロよね。うん、エロだわ。やっぱり葵先輩、かなこさんのことを。そうね、前々から怪しいとは思ってたけど。
You guys stopped short in the middle of what was going on. I was stopped short in the middle of what was going to be a denial. We helped each other out with whatever work we were doing too. Besides, I don't want to deny it. Oh, it was her cool, laid-back attitude, her bright smile, her considerate nature, the way she got bashful and flustered over weird stuff. I liked her more than just a dorm mate, more than just a friend. And I felt like I meant something to her, too. I was probably misinterpreting that kind of affection she felt for me, but still. Couldn't deny it any longer. I liked Kanako. We knew for a bit longer than, than he himself, apparently. Since, remember that time he confessed in the middle of a fucking conversation, and everyone just fucking blew it off like it never happened. That was probably a mistranslation or something. I blame Moe Novel. Just blame Moe Novel. Finally put my feelings into words. I knew what I had to do. Just need to work out how to tell her. Knowing Kanako, she'd probably just laugh it off as a joke. I need to convince her that I was serious, or we'd never get anywhere. And she feels too. How?
葵先輩、これなんですけど。
Huh? Oh, that goes over near the tail.
葵くん、こっち見てもらっていい？
Just a sec, I'll be right there. Sat down for a quick break. Been thinking of some approaches to the Kanako issue. Picking up the phone, texting. None of those felt right. Face to face is the only way to go. I'd look Kanako in the eye and tell her how I felt. It'd be embarrassing to be so honest and upfront with someone, but I just have to power through it. I could already feel myself blushing. Kanako. I've been leaning back in my chair so far I nearly toppled over. I had to grab the edge of the desk to stay upright. Whoa! What's going on like that? What's the problem? You need my help with something? Kotri shook her head.
何か悩み事とかあるの？
Huh? Why do you ask?
だってさっきからため息ばっかりついてるもん。そんなの初めてでしょ？
Why does my elbow hurt? It hurts more now. What did I think that would fix? Really? Thank you for concern, but it's nothing really.
なら聞かないけど。
Thanks. Kotri didn't say another word. She picked up the screwdriver she'd left on the desk and returned to her work. I didn't feel comfortable discussing this with her or the other girls. They'd probably just make fun of me.
似合わないくらい思い悩んじゃってるわね、葵ってば。
ちょっとからかいすぎちゃったかしら。
Yeah. Yeah, now he doesn't feel comfortable talking to y'all about this. That's what happens.
悩むぐらいならさっさと告白しちゃえばいいのに。
私たちに相談するつもりはないみたいね。ほんと水臭いんだから。
葵先輩はかなこさんのことが好きなんですよね。
多分間違いないと思うわ。
だったら私たちで背中を押してあげたらどうでしょうか。
So here's the plan. We're going to lock them in a fucking shed together.
よし、こんなもんね。で、もう話してくれていいわよ、葵。
Got it. I stepped away from where Ageda was working and looked around the hangar. My eyes rested on Kotri. Kotri, do you still have some stuff left to finish?
大丈夫よ。葵くんは
Just waiting for the resin to set. I'm at loose end until then.
じゃあ先に休憩行ってきなさいよ。
Nah, I'm not all that tired yet.
でも人手が必要な作業って今ないでしょ。
Yeah, maybe I'll give the simulator a
昨
try.
日あまねちゃんが帰りをするからってデータを持って帰ったの忘れたの？
Ah, apparently I was going to take the rest of the week to finish. So much for that,
あと
that
葵く
idea.
ん最近ちょっと頑張りすぎ。
I can handle it. This is normal
さ
for
っきも
me.
隠れてあくびしてたのに。
Oh.
というわけで行ってきなさいよ。ほら。
Aga heard us talking and decided to throw in her 2 cents.
こっちのことなら気にしなくていいわよ。頼りになる後輩だっているし。
任せてください。
私を頭数に入れないでください。
ほらほら、さっさと行ってきなさいって。
Kotri wheeled herself towards me, practically pushing me out of the door. Okay, I'm going! How about I go buy some drinks for everyone?
私コーラで麦茶。
オレンジジュースお願いします。
私も姉さんと同じもの。
Got it.
とりあえず葵は誘導できたと。そっちは
大丈夫よ。ちょっと前にカナに連絡してあるから。
うまくいくといいですね。
I'm along the starlit street. It's not really starlit. In search of the closest vending machine. Did they really have to be that pushy? Might as well have announced that they were hiding something from me. This didn't bode well. What kind of scheme were those girls cooking up? Had those girls cooked up? I just have to be on my guard until they showed their hand. I'm just thinking about it now. What Kanako's doing riding... Huh?
おーい。やっほーい。
Ah!
いきなり大きな声出さないでよ。
Oh! Sorry, I was just surprised. What are you doing here?
どうしてって。葵くん、私に用があるんでしょ？
Me?
さっきコトリンからメールがあったんだけど、なんか葵くんが話があるとか。
Koti said that? But what? Can you give me a minute? Took my cell phone out of my pocket. They've set everything up for you, so be a man and get this done. So this was their plan.
コトリン？
Yeah. I put my phone away and looked at Kanako. It just was me, but the fact that I'd come to terms with my feelings for her. But she looked even more beautiful. Maybe it was just me, or the fact that I'd come to terms with my feelings for her. But she looked even more beautiful than
もし
usual.
かして
もう用事済んじゃったとか？
No, not exactly. Couldn't tell what Kotri had made it all up, but I couldn't come up with a convincing excuse on the spot.
なんだ、それならそうと言ってくれればいいのに。
Kanako seemed to have convinced herself that everything was fine. Her smile was different from her usual spacey expression. It was bright and
じ
inviting.
ゃあ、私は帰るわね。葵くんたちもあまり遅くならないように。
She turned around and started to walk back the way she'd come. Be a man and get this done, huh? These words spurred me on to action. Couldn't allow this opportunity she and the others had made for me to go to waste. Had to let these feelings out so I'd never be able to relax again. Kanako! There's something I need to get off my chest. You stick around and listen to what I have to say.
聞いてほしいこと？
Put my hand over my heart and took a deep breath. That slowed my wild pulse down a little. I like you. I like you, Kanako. Kanako?
ありがとう。私も葵くんのこと好きよ。
Her face had gone slightly red, but apart from that, she looked just the same as always. It wasn't a response I'd been hoping for. I don't just mean in general. I like you. In a romantic way. I was so nervous that it came out louder than I was expecting. I could hear my voice echoing all the way down the hill.
やっぱりそっちか。
Kanako idly scratched her cheek and smiled awkwardly.
葵くんも意外と物好きよね。どうして私を好きになったんだか。自分で言うのもなんだけど、こんなにだらしない女なのに。
Oh no, she's provoked it! She's provoked it! The waterfall is... Kanako was already looking for a way out. I didn't give her time to run. I dashed forward and threw my arms around her. To be the cup of the moment, I pressed my mouth to her. Okay. I was expecting him to first try to convince her and not immediately go for the kiss. Then again, he has a track record of doing that. Her lips were so soft and sweet, it was hard to believe they were the same thing as my own. I could feel Kanako's tense, trembling body so close to mine. Slowly, we moved apart a little. A gasp of breath escaping, those lovely cherry lips caressed my face. My gaze wandered from Kanako's lips up to her eyes. They were looking back at me wide in surprise. If I looked deep enough, I could see my own face reflecting back at me like a couple of mirrors. I held back my burning desire and gave her some space. Sorry, that was pretty sudden, huh? You looked like you were gonna run away again. Sorry about that. Looking back on it now, that day I had a bad cold had been the starting point of all this. Until now, I'd only thought of Kanako as an easygoing but dependable older girl. But now she'd become a much bigger part of my life. Couldn't get her out of my head. Kaneo, maybe I'm just another guy plus your dorm mother, but I'm serious. The way I feel about you is no joke. Did all that get through?
もうこれ以上ないくらいにね。
Kanako's face was looking a tad more flushed than it had a few minutes ago.
葵くんなら私も。
Kanako? Kanako looked at me for what felt like a very long time.
そこまで言うなら、私と付き合ってみる？
Yes, I'd love to. My cheeks started burning red as if I'd walked into a blazing fire. Kanako was blushing too. She let out a laugh to relieve some of the tension that had started to build up.
それじゃあ、これからは恋人としてよろしくね。
Yeah, I guess so. That had a nice ring to it. The more I thought about it, the more I felt the tremendous sense of joy welling up inside me. More like, oh yeah!
さすがにはしゃぎすぎじゃない？
Sorry, I just couldn't hold it in.
もう大げさなんだから。
She gave me an indulgent smile. She looked so calm, and here I was with my heart racing like there was no tomorrow. I'd get her back. I'd find a way to share this excitement with her. Kanako,
何？
can I kiss you
ダ
again?
メって言ってもするつもりでしょ？
I nodded. I had no shame. I delicately laid a hand on each of Kanako's shoulders. Still trembling a little, Kanako turned her head up to look me in the eye. Without waiting for a reply, I planted another firm kiss on her. Kanako tensed up again for a moment, and let her weight fall against me. This kiss was stronger than the last. Not to be outdone, Kanako pressed her lips back against mine. That sensation was like nothing I'd ever felt before, and I never wanted it to end. The others back in the base were like, "Oh, it is taking quite long, isn't it?" Oh, jeez. Now I'd done it! I gripped my cell phone tight and ran with all the speed I could muster towards the dorm. Everyone was bound to be there already, probably wondering where I was and why I hadn't made tonight's dinner yet. How could I get myself to lose track of time like this? I like it, Kanako.
分かったから、そう何度も言わなくていいわよ。
Though she tried to shrug it off, I was glad that Kanako accepted my feelings for what they were now. The fact that she felt the same way was the icing on the cake. I couldn't tear myself away from her.
もう調子に乗りすぎ。
You've done your fair share of teasing me up until now. Think this is payback.
あれは葵くんが勝手に照れてただけじゃないの。これちょっともういい加減にしなさいよ。こんなのんびりして夕飯とか大丈夫なの？
Was that remark spoken more out of desperation than concern that finally made me take notice of the time? I'd probably have stayed with her all day if she hadn't pointed that out. Kanako said she was going to drop by the convenience store on her own before heading home. Apparently she'd forgotten to pick up something earlier, but I think that was just an excuse, and I was grateful for it. If we'd have walked home together, I'd have wanted to relax and take my time. This way, I could hurry back and get things started. She was concerned, but this isn't the time for that! Hey everybody, I'm here, sorry I'm so late, huh?
おかえり葵くん。
おかえりなさい。
What? Came hurtling into the dining hall only to find the smell of cooking already drifting in from the kitchen. Yoru and Asa were both hard at work getting something ready. A few dishes had already been set out on the table, fresh and steaming hot.
どうしたのよ葵。そんな汗だくになっちゃって。
Yeah, I forgot all about dinner, but I got here as fast as I could.
なんで？支度だったら私たちでやるって言わなかった？
You did?
私ちゃんとメールしたわよ。
I looked at my phone. Sure enough, there was an unread message from Kotri waiting for me. How could I have missed that? Oh, well, that's great. Thanks, you guys. Not just for the dinner, but, you know, everything else, too.
別にいいわよ。私たちがやりたくてやっただけだし。ね。
Everybody smiled back at me. They must have known what I was hinting at. What did I ever do to deserve friends as great as these?
あとはカナだけなんだけど、一緒じゃなかったんですか？
Oh, she...
ごめん。コンビニ寄ってたら思いのほか遅くなっちゃって。あれ？どうしたのみんな。コンビニに寄ってたんですか。へえ。もう、わざとらしいわよ、カナ。なに一体どうしたの？
Sorry, Kanako, they found out about us.
あらら、やっぱり。
Ah, thought so. You did? Ah, why did she say that anything?
ねえねえ、アゲハ。さっきから何の話してるの？
葵とカナコさんが正式に付き合い始めたっていう話よ。え、嘘！あれだけ噂を否定してたのに？
Bitch, after all that! They could have started earlier, just confirmed the rumors then. Sonana obviously hadn't known. The news had her really excited.
改めておめでとうございます、先輩。カナコさん。
おめでとうございます。うん、ありがとう。
Asa looked as happy as if it were happening to her, while Yuru gave a more calm and collected smile. Kanako's face was going red. She was probably unnerved by this celebratory mood.
ちょっと、どうしてみんな知ってるのよ。葵くん、もう話しちゃったの？
Kanako gave me a suspicious look. Was it really the prime suspect here? It wasn't me. Koten and the others had this plan from the start.
仕組まれた？
Yeah. They prepared things so when they called for you, you'd run into me. It was all a setup arranged to make sure I'd tell you how I felt.
なるほど。そういうことだったか。あと、最後まで見守ってたんだけど、そこまで心配することもなかったわね。だから言ったでしょ？葵くんは、やるときはやる男なんだから。
So they'd been spying on us too? Guy,
覗き見なんて趣味が悪いんじゃないの？
すみません先輩。でもどうしても気になっちゃって。
そうですよ。私たちは心配していたんですから。
You don't look like you mean any of that. They were obviously enjoying teasing us. Yoda's smirk was getting even bigger. Kanako and I shared a glance.
ところで葵先輩は、かなこさんのどこに惹かれたんですか？
I knew the question was coming. I just didn't think it would be so soon. Well, there's a lot of stuff.
やっぱり、胸ですか？あ、なるほど。そうなの？葵くん。
No, I don't know why you're even talking about this.
葵先輩も男の方ですから、かなこさんの胸に魅了されたのかなと。確かにかなの胸大きいし、わからなくもないけど、まさかコトリンからセクハラを受けることになるなんてね。人聞きの悪いこと言えないよ。でもそれなら私だって負けてないと思うんだけど。
I put her hands up to her own chest to accentuate her size.
なかなかだと思うけど、まだ私の方が大きいかな。
Kanako imitated Agia's gesture, adding a light bouncing movement. I didn't know where to look. Let's change the subject, alright? Anyhow, it wasn't really her breasts or her outward appearance that drew me to Kanako.
それなら先輩はかなこさんのどこを好きになったんですか？
ナイスパスよ、姉さん。それは私もものすごく興味があるわね。ここは二人にお互いのことをとくと語り尽くしていただきましょうか。
Now hold on a second.
今回ばかりは無礼講です。私たちの前で盛大にのろけてください。
明日はお休みですし、私何時間でもお付き合いしますから。
念のためコーヒー用意しとこうかしら。
I like how Kanako already fucked off.
私も手伝います。
I was trapped. There was no way out. Everybody was so enthusiastic, but they'd never thought to ask how Kanako or I felt. Speaking of which, where was Kanako? I caught sight of her trying to slip out of the room unnoticed. You're not dying to leave me to face all this on my own, are you?
何も言わないで、ここは見逃して。
We're supposed to be in this together.
ごめん。私のために犠牲になって。
But then...
おっと、逃がさないわよ、かなちゃん。
You can't escape!
かなこさんも今日の主賓でしょ。ほら、座って座って。
いろいろと聞かせてほしいな。待って、
Caught on both sides, Kanako was dragged to her seat.
さあさあ、葵も座りなさいって。
I was shoved down next to Kanako. Okay, fine. If this is how it's gonna be, go ahead and ask us anything.
イエーイ！本当にここで全部話しちゃうの？さすがにちょっと恥ずかしいんだけど。
I don't think we have a choice. They're not gonna let us go until they know the whole story. The other girl's eyes were all glimmering with a dangerous light. They looked like predators sizing up a fresh piece of meat. Kanako resigned herself to her fate and allowed herself a wry smile. Anyways. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and see you next time. Bye-bye.